Hey, welcome back to Fixing Things. Today it's all about Harley Davidsons. That's right, because it's beautiful outside and I got to get my bikes up and running. And this has been a 2-year journey with this motorcycle right here. I've tried fixing it before and it didn't fix it. It helped it. It made it so we can ride it, but we had to keep checking the oil. And that was the oil drain hose. Oh my gosh. For some strange reason, Harley Davidson decides they're going to make all their oil hoses easy to accessible to get to, except for the one that breaks all the time. And I'm talking about with under 7,000 miles, all of a sudden he develops a crack. Well, I tried fixing it last time. And yesterday I said, you know something? The last time I did this, I had to crouch on my back. I couldn't see it because my wife's bike sits really low to the ground. It's been dropped over 2.5 inches and it's really low. You can't even put an oil pan underneath it to drain the oil. So yesterday, I made a lift from a 2-point lift. I made some attachments. So if you want to see how to put in a 2-point lift, motorcycle lift attachments, right here. So I bought this on eBay 2 years ago. Last year we didn't even ride at all because my motorcycle was messed up. Fuel tank leaks, carburetor problems, all kinds of problems. And this is the brand new hose for her bike. Now it still has oil. It's full. I can ride it right now and go ride it. But it leaks. So I got a little lid to a thing here. I'll show you. It's a lid to a tote, and I slide that underneath the motorcycle. And that's how much oil that has drained out of the motorcycle since it's been parked here in the garage. Today we're going to fix it. We're going to put, it's 2 years and I have never even opened this thing. It's time we open it. Oh, Lord, let it be the right part. Ah! It's a little late now, right? Oh no, I just cut the hose. Still wrapped. Should be 00B. 6355300B. It's for a Harley Davidson Softail. So the issue with these things is this bend right here. So the tank is on a suspension and so it don't vibrate, just like the gas tank is. And the bottom is hooked to the frame solid. And what it does is it causes this to go like this. And over a period of time, it cracks a hole in this. They should have made the tube have a 90-degree bend in it and hook the hose straight up into it and straight down. That way the vibration would have only been like this, not like this. Engineers. Here at the School of Redneck Engineering, we tend to fix things the right way about the 3rd time around. Well, this is going to be the 2nd time. We're going to get this oil hose put on, and they ain't easy to put on. If someone tells you, oh, it's easy to put on, they ain't easy to put on. It wasn't easy to put a hose clamp on that because you have these little squeeze things, crimp things, and they're very hard to get off. They're made out of hardened steel. I had to use my Klein dikes to nibble at it to get it off, and then I pulled it off real fast, cut the hose, shoved it back on there, and put a hose clamp on it, and it slowed down, but it didn't fix it. So today we're gonna fix it. Watch. Are you watching? Don't. You'll blink, you'll miss it. This is my new motorcycle lift attachment to my two post lift. You see that? I mean, do you see that? That is totally amazing. I don't want to lose this. I had to look all over the house for this. I looked all through my parts bins, and then I remembered, man, I ordered this thing a long time ago. I mean, let's go up higher. Oh, that's so nice. Now I'll probably poke myself in the eye with the piece hanging out. So she's tight. She ain't going nowhere. Now we can get to the part. All right, so we're over here next to the motorcycle. Here's the part. I'm putting it right here so I don't lose it. Man, I spent 2 or 3 hours trying to find that. I looked all over here through this is my projects, all these bins and stuff. That's all the project parts I got going. I got project parts here, project parts in the shed. And I forgot, when I purchased this thing, I didn't have the garage. I asked the Lord, show me the things that's lost. Show me. And he kind of pointed me to my shelf inside my mud room in the back, because that is the time period it was on that shelf. I have some other things, other projects on that shelf too. So some hydroponic stuff and everything else. So anyways, let's back to the back up. Let's get it back on the motorcycle. I get carried away. I'm getting excited. Because this has been one of those projects I've been put off. And this year we're going to ride our bikes. Me and my wife are going to ride our bikes. This is my wife's bike. I got to fix my bike. My bike's a chopper. Anyways, so on these lines, the oil line is underneath here behind the tank. Now, this oil line you can get to. These two oil lines you can get to. But the oil drain line goes back behind here. So the problem is, and some people do them, they get them through here, but on the factory pipes it comes down right here and sits just underneath this bracket right here. Right? See what I'm saying? So there's like 5 inches of material now blocking the way, and they come through here and they can get their hand right in there. Well, you can't do that now because the pipes are in the way. So the only other place to get to it is through here. And this bike sits this high off the ground. So you're sitting there trying to get this thing, trying to get your eyeball up in here. I had my phone over here, my camera, so I can get pictures. I got videos. You can go back and view how I did it. This time we're going to do it right. So we're going to start by draining the oil out of the tank, because I don't want to get no oil on my floor. I had my first accident doing sketchy stuff. I hit my hand on, I put a paint cap over it. It actually sits on there pretty good. But always doing sketchy stuff. I said to myself, I'm probably going to hit my head on that today. And then what I do, crack my knuckle. All right, let's get the oil changed. All right, it takes a 16 millimeter socket, and your oil drain is right under the edge. This is how you drain the oil on your motorcycle, right? Whoever did that had that on there pretty tight last time. Should have a rubber seal on it. So I'm just draining it into a 1 gallon jug. Hopefully there's and it's thick. Now you can loosen the oil cap. This oil is thick. This is 20W50 motor oil. And it is thick. So when you take your oil plug out, you should inspect it. Inspect your little oil ring. And on top, there's a magnet. It's not very powerful. And what you want to do is see if there's any metal filings. This one's good. Metal filings means you may have some engine issues. It's designed to pull the metal filings to the bottom of your oil thing, and then this will hold it. And that way it doesn't go through your motor and mess it up. A lot of the parts in your motor are aluminum. It's not going to stick to this. But you can inspect the oil as it's coming out. If you see oil that got stuff going through, look, it's already almost done. So I like using these jugs to drain my projects in, especially like this, because it tells me how much oil that I need to refill back in it. This oil is so thick, it's got a screen on it that it hasn't went down through the screen yet. So we probably got about 1/4 of a quart sitting up here, and we're close to half a quart down in the drain in the thing. So it'll be about 3/4 of a quartish. Well, no, because I'm gonna check it with the dipstick. Jimmy. So I got a flashlight shoved in here, and you can see it's right up in here. That's the clamp that I put on. So I'm gonna should be able to get a long screwdriver up the pooper chute here of the bike and take that clamp off. And then there's still the crimp-on clamp down here. We'll get that off too. That might take some struggling. Come up through here. I think I can get it. Loosening I could not do this before. Probably if this oil was thinner, it would have drained out already. He's a long nut driver. There we go. All right, the top one is undid. Now we got to figure out how to do the bottom one. I ain't never had that one off, but it should be easier. All right, so it's right there is the clamp. just going to try to cut it. So you can imagine how I had to cut that one. We got most of it off. The part that goes around it is still on there. Yeah. And that's the piece of junk that holds it on. Alright, so now we just got to get that hose off of there. Get a different screwdriver. Alright, got a heavy screwdriver that I can beat with. Put it right on the end of the hose. Put it right on the end of the hose. And she's off of there. Now we got to try to get the hose off the back side. It's going around this big suspension bolt. Right there, see? It's got a crack on it. And that's where it was coming out. If I could have got it past that, probably would have sealed up. Alright, we're going to stick the hose in. Got to go around the shaft, down towards the thing. Put it back up in here and put it onto the pipe. Then I got to get a hose clamp on this side right down here. And yeah, let me get a hose clamp. I want to tighten the bottom one up before I tighten the top one up in case there's any tension on it. Because, like I said, the tank has shock, the frame doesn't. We don't want to put any tension on the new pipe. So we'll get a hose clamp on here and we'll tighten this one up. So it's going to be right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. And I want to snug this one up. This is the hard one right here. Done. I mean, you just can't see it. You can see the bottom one right there. You can barely see the edge of the clamp. That's where she's at. So the key is to put it in from here, get it over the axle, not the axle, the suspension shaft, around and over top of the nipple for the drain. Then once you get the top one on, you can put your hose clamp on, lift it up, put your hose clamp on, and I turned it to a direction of the hose clamp was on the bottom one was on this side. So the part that turns is on this side. That way I can turn it and get to the screwdriver the other way, because you can't get to it from this side because of the suspension parts. All right, make sure you inspect your oil seal. Make sure you clean all the debris off. Don't over tighten it. So I think I'm gonna spray some brake clean on that, all this stuff here. It's pretty greasy all through here, and if I see any more leaks, I'll know what to look for. But I'm 99.9% sure I got it. So let's get. Yeah, for a second I thought I put the old hose back on there. But I guess as I was putting it in, I don't recollect how much oil was still coming out of it. All right, time to let it down. Put some oil in it. And I gotta wash it. All right. I'm gonna change the oil anyways, but I'm gonna top it off with some 20W50 STP oil. Ah. All right. Oh, time to get it off the lift. All right, that's going to be it for this episode of Fixing Things. She ain't leaking no more. She's right. She's right. I didn't get the washer because the me-haul truck is in the way and someone's parked behind the me-haul truck. And I didn't want to go through the ordeal. So I cleaned up the shop a little bit. But we'll put this one, I got the battery tender back on it. It's starting right up. I did overfill it with oil. And it told me that it had a little too much oil start coming out the 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 filler neck. But that's all right. We're gonna get this bike covered up. This is my wife's really nice bike. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is a good project. It was tricky. It was tricky. There was. It's hard to get your hands in there. If it was a different bike with different pipes on it, probably could have been easier. Could have been even harder. If the bike didn't have a 2.5-inch drop in the rear and 2-inch drop in the front, probably could have even been a lot easier. That was one of the reasons I couldn't get a screwdriver up in there, because the screwdriver would hit the ground before I could make my turn. That's all right. Hey, we got more episodes coming up on the me-haul truck. We're going to be doing more interior work. I do have hold on. This is 3M Super 77. I used it on my headliner. Do not use this stuff on your headliner. I did it both on my F350 and the Mihal truck, and both headliners are already starting to come down. So I got a gallon of the spray mix stuff. It's already mixed. You pour it into it. I got a couple of those spray guns, and we're going to pull the liner back off. If I got to buy a new liner, then that's what I'll do. But do not use the Super 77 to do your upholstery work. It's made by Dowell, and what is it? It's called, I don't know. I'll post a picture of it right here. And that's the stuff you use. Now, they make a couple different ones. This is the one you use. All the professionals use it, not this. This is no good. No go. God bless you. I'll see you on the next Fixing Things with Pastor Bill. Man, that thing that thing looks good. Man, I still got a mess to clean up. Oh, I'm glad I had got some stuff done today.